Hello and welcome to this episode of From Ego to Essence. My name is Simone and I'm here with Jeyda. And today we are going to do something a bit different. We are going to make an interview, or I'm going to interview Jeyda about her de-armouring course. So I'm quite curious because I don't know actually anything about de-armouring. And I know Jeyda is right now in a beautiful space. So maybe you want to share a bit, like the journey you are embarking on now. What's gonna happen?
Oh gosh. I don't know really what's going to happen. All I know is that I'm in a very good space. I feel very stable and grounded, and I feel it's a 2-week course, which is quite a long time, and I can feel maybe some transformation will happen. Shall I explain a bit about what de-armouring is?
Yeah, please.
So for those who don't know, de-armouring is basically when there is like any kind of trauma that we've experienced in our lives. And when I say trauma, trauma essentially is just anything we experienced in our lives that kind of invoked some emotion that we couldn't release. Sadness, grief, anger. And when this situation happens and the body kind of freezes, it kind of tenses and it freezes instead of releasing the emotion that it kind of needed at that time. And so then what the body does as a coping mechanism is it locks it into the body. And it almost becomes like an armor all around our body, from our head to our neck, our limbs, all the way down to our feet, everywhere. And we all have this. And so the kind of journey that I'm about to embark on for the next 2 weeks is going to be working through a lot of this kind of locked trauma, to release that. And a lot of this kind of blocked trauma can also then maybe create a lot of blockages in our external lives. Maybe somebody can have like a fear of speaking out in front of people, or speaking up for themselves, or showing some skin. All of these things is kind of how this trauma has then manifested into behaviors. So the idea is that then by kind of releasing these, it allows energy to flow through the body a lot easier, and also then for life to flow a lot easier. We'll see.
And how does this happen? You say we release this. Like, what is this? How do you work in de-armouring?
Yeah, see, this is this I don't know so much. So there is definitely like a part of me. I almost haven't looked into this course in so much detail intentionally, because I have this tendency to kind of go into things with an expectation. And then I kind of I don't appreciate the learning as much, because I'm so disappointed that it didn't live up to. So I don't know so much about how. The only thing I do know is that like it's a lot to do with like pressure points. And all I know is that the nervous system needs to be so relaxed in order for the body to allow the pressure to get to the place. It's a very tender, vulnerable place, but that's all I know, really. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's very interesting, and I like that you Like you know yourself so well that if you have expectations and it doesn't happen, maybe disappointment comes. So you come completely fresh, completely with like new eyes, and just open to experience whatever is going to happen in these 2 weeks. Yeah. So you're going to be in this workshop space for 2 weeks straight?
Yeah, 2 weeks from like morning to night.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
going to be intense for you.
I know. I know. And also with that, like, because I don't know, there is a bit of nervousness.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know what I've signed up for.
Okay.
But somehow it feels very right, I would
Mm.
say. Also,
Mm.
I totally trust that I'm here for a reason. But yeah, there's definitely it's a bit much for my mind, I would say. So my mind's like trying to freak out a bit, but like my gut knows. So it's just like my gut is almost trying to calm my mind down. Like,
Mm.
yeah. And there's excitement that comes as well.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Mm. Okay, so do you know like how many participants are you gonna be? Is it both men and women?
Yeah, so it'll be both men and women.
Mhm.
And I think they have tried to keep the ratio quite even for that reason. And there's 24 people,
Mm.
so it's quite a big group.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's going to be quite a journey together.
Mm.
Yeah, I also maybe want to say that, like, also with this de-armouring, what's just come to me is yeah, it's, I don't know so much, so I almost need to be careful with my words, but I think it is like a shamanic tradition or a shamanic teaching. So I think also for these next 2 weeks, when we kind of go deeper into this process, I think also there'll be a lot of kind of shamanic teachings that will also be a part of the course. For example, I know that there's going to be a sweat lodge, or maybe two sweat lodge. And for those who don't know what a sweat lodge is, it's like a purification where there's kind of like a dome that's kind of covered with cloth, and everyone sits in the dome, and there's like hot coals that creates like steam, and you basically, it's a ritual. Everyone sits in this dome together, and it's like a purification. So I also think that, yeah, along with this kind of trauma relief, there's going to be like a lot of like soul resonance with maybe like the teachings. There's more of like an earthy feel to this course that I think my soul is like longing for.
Yeah, I think this leads me perfectly to my next question, which is like, why are you there? What called you into this course? Would you like to share about that?
Yeah. I think you said it. It felt like a calling, and I know that when I say that, maybe not everyone will understand what that means or what that is, and that's also okay. I think for me, what that means is like a very strong yes.
Mm.
Like a calling, it was like a very strong yes without much logic as to why. And then when but the teacher is somebody who I did a course with before, a very beautiful, strong shamanic woman. And to kind of see her in her power, there is definitely some longing to step into something like that for me one day, that I for sure will. That I wonder if, yeah, this is maybe also the beginnings of that, to really dive deep into some kind of ancient, sacred teachings, or to uncover these kind of, yeah, indigenous learnings, or that I really wanted to, but almost not really knowing how to or where to go or what to do. And then I found this teacher, and it was like, yes. So when I found out that she was doing this one, it also was just like, I don't know how I'm going to afford it. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know how I'm going to be able to come away from work at this time, but I know that I need to. So it was a very clear, like, do this.
Yeah.
You have to do this.
And then you also got to listen. It's not so often that we get these like super clear callings and there's just like no doubt this is what I'm going to do. And it's like your soul knows that this is the answer right now. This is what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's actually really nice to have you reflect that back to me, because I also can imagine that it's going to be quite challenging. Yeah, it might be quite hard. And so actually it's quite a nice reminder that, like, no, this is there's a bigger picture, like, I don't know, to kind of give me something to hold on to, maybe in those times where I'm struggling or challenged.
Yeah, and then still staying with, okay, so what's present now? It might have been a big yes in the beginning, but that doesn't mean that I won't meet resistance or a no on the way. And then also listening to that and knowing, then that's what's true now. Like in this experience, in this moment, I don't have to force anything through, or because I can imagine that, like, if you are working with trauma, trigger points, a lot of people, 2 weeks, I can imagine this will be like a massive challenge on every level. Just putting it out there, like, I think this is gonna be so hard, and I think it's gonna be so rewarding. Yeah. And yeah, and I think you definitely are now in a space where you honor yourself more, and you see your truth for what it is, and you respect that also. Yeah. So even if there is this big yes when it comes to trauma and triggers, yeah, we gotta listen and take it one breath at a time.
Yeah, and I love what you said, and like, I really think there is like a lot of truth in like divine timing, because for sure I feel very strong at the moment, very in my power, I'm very confident, and very like I would say I'm the strongest I've ever felt. And I feel like maybe it's now because I'm in this space, now I'm almost ready to like, I can somehow hold it now, to kind of step into this space. Maybe up until now I wasn't quite ready, which is why it never happened. So I feel it's a very interesting time.
Yeah. So what has led up to this? Is there any like big events that made you ready, or like any support or experiences? Like, what made you strong enough to be here now?
I would say for sure the last year and 10 months being at Ängsbacka, living in a community where I really have been able to kind of step into, show myself, and to be loved and to be kind of seen in that way, has really done like a lot for my confidence. But also I had my first plant medicine ceremony, which I also think did a lot for my self-worth and my power, and kind of just going there and getting through that has given me a lot of strength in myself, that like I can get through, or I can face my fear, or I can and also I would say I've been on a very long journey of like body acceptance, and I also think that somehow this has been maybe like a real big one in why I am where I am now, like this real acceptance of like, okay, I'm like I don't need to change her. She's not like, there's not a goal that I'm trying to reach for her to be ready, but she's already ready, she's already beautiful, and just kind of like, yes, starting to believe that a bit more and show myself is like, is turning into what has been, yeah, a huge challenge for me. My whole life is starting to now become like a really beautiful journey. Yeah, and I think this is actually, so I think actually all of them are connected. Like all of them, from Engsbaka to the ceremony to my body, it's somehow all, I think, been a really lovely continuation of it. And I think this course is going to be a lot about the body. So again, I think it's all very interesting timing.
Yeah, it sounds like there's many like events, and like it has been a long period that has led up to you being where you are now. Like a lot of things, maybe it sounds like also old trauma or belief systems around the body, and you said to be loved there was supportive for you, and like, so it sounds like many things had to be like falling into place or be healed before you're now ready to stand here sort of alone with a new group going on this 2-week journey. And part of me is like, what is that strength? Like you said, now I'm strong enough. And I'm like, what is the strength? What strength is she taking with her into this course?
I think it is something like acceptance. Like strength in and I think we kind of touched on it a bit on our last episode, that like really believing I'm already there, like everything's perfect. This strength, like so it's actually acceptance. You know, like I've had a interesting relationship with food, and it's kind of somehow naturally balanced itself out. But yesterday I got really stressed and I overate, and it's like, that's okay. There's not like this judgment now. It's more of like just acceptance of all of these ways. Some are a bit more serving than others, but even still, it's still okay. So I think this is the kind of, this has created my strength.
It sounds like that acceptance maybe has also something to do with self-love. Like there's enough love for yourself to tell yourself it's okay. I did this yesterday, but it's okay. There is still love for yourself. I can accept myself as I am without having to blame or judge myself for whatever happened in the past.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. Yeah, for sure, it's self-love that I can only maybe reach. And there's not total acceptance, it's like a work in progress. But there's a lot more acceptance because there's a lot more self-love.
Yeah. Mm. Yummy. Yeah. So I'm a bit curious, like what do you, I know you said you didn't look so much into like what are you actually doing on this course, but what do you hope that it will bring you or gift you these 2 weeks?
What I hope is that over these next 2 weeks, I can maybe observe or see things that I didn't want to know was there. So I think I would like these next 2 weeks to bring a lot of awareness into maybe some blockages, or maybe something that is kind of back here working that I'm not really aware of, that is kind of limiting me in some way. I would like to see that and gain awareness, and then also to work through and release that. Because my experience so far is that when I do that, my capacity to love or to experience, it only expands. And so and this is why, again, it's like this interesting timing, because right now it's like I feel pretty solid. I don't know kind of where to work, what to work on next. So what I would like to, so maybe in a way, in these next 2 weeks, I would like to expand my capacity to love. There's fear that comes when I say that. That feels quite big to say.
Yeah. So there's a longing to expand in love, be able to embrace more love in yourself. And of course fear comes, because what we long for the most brings us the most fear. This is perfect. Yeah. This is perfect. This shows you, shows you the truth. You're really longing for this. Wow. That's a beautiful longing.
Yeah, what comes to me is to let love in, to let even more love in.
And who would you be if you let even more love in?
It's very hard to put words on, but I can feel her. I can just see somebody with a very open heart to all, to a lot more compassion for myself, for my surroundings, it will almost like an even more fulfilled experience, life experience, or even like connections and relations, friendships, like even with even more love. Like everything would just be more love, more truth, more openness, more connection, more vibration. Like everything would just be
And in that, it also sounds like something about getting, or what I'm getting is like getting closer to your core. This maybe also comes from my belief that we are love. And say this, I get this like getting closer to yourself, but also a lot of grounding in that. Like if you love so much, if you're open for love, like you become so in tune with earth, with Pachamama, with like what's going around you, and you also become more present, like landing in the now and just being open now to friends, family, yourself, situations. Yeah. And I like what you said in the beginning about seeing your teacher in her power. Yeah. And I was a bit curious about like what is that power that you see in her? Like what is it that inspires you in her? And you shared a bit about these like maybe these indigenous tradition or the shamanism, but like is there more you see in her?
Seeing her. Yeah, the power is awareness, but also, yes, it's like she is like a pillar to guide others to themselves through these teachings, like through these sacred earthly or not even earthly, it's more than earth, these universal magic to guide others to their own magic through the magic. Is there anything more magical?
I don't think so. Okay.
Oh.
So what's happening in you now?
So much aliveness and spark and joy, and like so many like electric is all around my body and face, and there's like a zing, ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
You've hit the jackpot. That's it.
Your soul is singing.
Yeah, my soul is singing. Yeah, like guiding others or supporting others step into their own power, their own magic, to connect to their own source, their own essence, the infinite being that they are. This is my longing.
Where can I sign up? I like to do that. Wow.
I don't think I've I don't think I've ever verbalized or had those. I don't think I've ever been able to put words to that before. That was a great question. Yeah. And so then, I hope then my intention is that this retreat will bring me closer to that.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on a very beautiful journey, like starting with Ingspaka and the love from friends, looking at your relationship with food, the plant medicine. I know you're also taking a dance education, Zen coaching. Like it sounds like you are slowly like making your way towards magic. And filling your life with great teachers, being inspired and taking all the gold you can from different places, and then this longing to expand in love. And it sounds like you also really want to share the magic, like you want to hold space and offer people this space to find their truth and their own love and their own magic. Yeah. What
Beautifully said.
Yeah, like this is, I think this is a very important journey. And I think it's so important that you are doing it. And I know many other people in these times are also slowly making their way towards, like, how can we embrace love more, or truth more, or the magic of being. And these values, sounds like it's being more valued in general. That's my feeling, that's my vibe of like self-connection and self-growth and self-love. It's becoming valued now. It's not only work and money, family and status, and connecting with the simple and the truth. And this sounds like it's also a door for you. Like, now 2 weeks I will give to myself. I will clear out whatever I find was blocking or in my way of fully opening my heart and experience love and life. I get tingled.
Thank you for that, for hearing me and totally capturing the energy and the essence, and beautiful. In my head I'm like, she's so good. Like that somehow, from like me talking about me stepping into my power, you are totally stepping into yours.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's like last time you also inspired me in our last call, and I guess this is also the work that you just talked about you're longing for, like how can we support each other in stepping into power or truth, and just you sharing about it now also makes me like, and I feel all the energy and the tingles and the longing for this, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually also on some of supporting people with finding truth and seeing themselves. And so this resonates so much with me. And, so it's really beautiful for me to hear you share about your dreams and your longings for this course. And I think it will inspire for sure. And I have no doubt that one day you will be the one standing there holding space, teaching. Like, as you said in our last conversation, it's already here.
Yeah, it's already here. This is my dream, and it will happen one day.
When time is
and this is why as well I feel it's so, I'm so grateful for the last 2 years. Even before I came to Embarking, the pandemic, it's like I'm so grateful that life could just stop. And when I say life, I mean like the work and the finances and the worrying about money and all of these things. Like by being in Embarking, it's like I've been able to come away from the kind of the world that I was getting caught up in. And it's just created like this space where I can just go inwards, see what's there, clear it out, build myself up. Okay, there's something. It's like I totally wouldn't. And then, like you said, finding out all these things I'm interested in. I would not have been able to have done this if I was working a 9 to 5, paying for my rent, living in a city in a house share, and I really needing the space to put my energy into myself. So I'm just like so grateful for that opportunity.
So it was actually a gift for you, this pandemic, like to get time.
And I always I was talking to my friend about this once, that because I know that during this pandemic a lot of people got called to communities or to the other side of the world, and it was like there's almost like a call happening for all of the healers of the world, that like this time has been like a summoning of like people, healers, to go work on yourself, get your power up, get your magic up, bring your gifts, get your gifts, and then fly with them. I really see how that's maybe happening for us both. It's been a very transformational 2 years for us both, of stepping in, stepping up, surrender, acceptance, power, love.
And also interesting on this journey to see like, who do you connect with? Because it actually took us a while to really connect into the depth that I feel we are now. And it took quite a lot of like being together, feeling each other. And I feel like we have both changed a lot in Embarking, and this like we started here in this journey of like, who are we becoming? And now I feel like we are like aligning. We are not on the complete same path, but there is something in the energy of like, okay, now there is an understanding and walk together. Yeah, I feel that.
I totally feel that. There's a beautiful complementary synergy happening. It's very complementary. I agree. The paths aren't exactly the same, but there is definitely this like supporting and holding and empowering each other. Yes, and it's very much
yeah. And I think that's important also, like on the journey you're going on now, like to have that support and knowing like I am seen, I am supported, I am loved, I have love for myself. Okay, now I'm ready for this next step, right? Yeah.
Thank you for this beautiful opportunity to do this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was your suggestion, and it was such a beautiful one, and so supportive and encouraging, and to give me this space to dig a little bit and explore, and to really like verbalize these things before the course starts. I'm very grateful.
You're welcome. And maybe if there is energy, time, space, and whenever you have actually digested this whole experience, I would love to have a chat with you about, so what now? What opened? What unfolded? And yeah, we'll see. Maybe it takes a long time to digest. Maybe it's a fast one. We'll see. But it would be great to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jeyda. I wish you a beautiful course. Thank you. Okay.